In this video you will learn how to create a realistic material for any metallic object. Okay, let's start. So usually the damage in a metal piece happens at the border of the mesh. So that's why I will add a geometry node and I will add a color ramp. And in the geometry node I will use the pointiness feature. So now I will plug all the nodes together. And as you can see, we can already a little bit see the effect of the pointiness feature, but not enough. And that's why I'm gonna use the color ramp to emphasize it a lot more. So by bringing the two cursors together, we get this really nice effect. There is no right or wrong here, you just want to select the value that fits your need as much as possible. But for now, the borders are way too smooth, so to fix this, I'm gonna add a noise texture just to make sure that the texture is more realistic and uneven. After tweaking the settings a bit, I will add the color ramp just to make sure that some part of the noise texture are stronger than the other. Now the goal is to mix both of these textures together so that the noise texture only appear on the edge of our mesh. For that I will use a mix node, I will use the color method and the subtract method, and then I will put the noise texture in the A socket and I will use our pointiness texture in the factor. For now the result is inverted, but that's okay, I will just use an invert node and put it on our pointiness texture. Now by adjusting both of the color ramps and adjusting the mix node, we are able to fully control where we want the white spot to appear on our mesh. To continue, I will add 3 image textures. Each texture will be linked in the description. Also make sure while you're using these textures that the wrap method is set to cubic and box. Now that we've got all of our texture, I will hit Ctrl+Shift+T on one of them with the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, and I will use the texture coordinate type to generate. Also make sure to connect the remaining image textures. Now that we've got this out of the way, let's start to add some real color. Me, I chose a golden black painted statue, but of course you can select the color that fits your needs the most. So I want the gold part on the edge of the mesh, and for that it's already perfect. We have a perfect black and white map to select a specific area. So I will add a mix node, and then in the factor I will plug the texture that we did previously, and then I will put the color of the gold texture in the A socket. Oh wait, no, never mind, it's not the right one. Put it in the B socket and then change the color in the A socket to black, and yeah, that's pretty much the effect I want. But now if we preview our texture, it's not looking very realistic, it's pretty much just a flat shading of yellow and black, but we're gonna change that. So the next thing I will do is add some roughness. So I want the part of where is the gold to be very shiny and not rough, and the part where there is paint to be a lot very rough with little to no reflection. So I will do the same thing that we did for the color, except this time it will be for the roughness. So I add the mix node and then I put the black and white texture into the factor. I put the texture of the roughness in the B socket. But now if we preview the effect, we can see that it's not really what we want. But that's because the values are inverted. In the roughness value, white means 1 and 1 means it's really rough, and black means 0 and there is no roughness at all. So what I want here is to invert the value, and then it will be a lot better. You can choose to use an invert node, of course, but because I want more control over my values, I will use a color ramp and just flip the two cursors so that I can manually choose the value that I want. So now I will just increase a little bit the roughness for the gold part. But now if we preview the value, we can see that it doesn't really look like gold. But that is normal because the metallic value on our principal BSDF is set to 0. So now what I want is to use the exact same value and just put it in the metallic socket. Just don't forget to invert the value again, and this time I didn't feel the need to use a color ramp for this, so I just went with an invert node. Now it is looking a lot better, but we still want this additional detail that will make this a lot more realistic. And for that I will use a normal map and I will just plug it in the displacement output. Just make sure to change the color space of your normal map image texture to non-color because it will look a lot better. Me, when I was recording, I forgot to do so, but by doing this, trust me, it will make your result look a lot better. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. I will leave you with a screen of the node trees so that if you missed anything, you can look at it again. And yeah, see you next time. Ciao.